con. Quand tu apprécies les nuances, les bleus du ciel, tu apprécies la vie.
That is a look at the film Rue, inspired by the real-life story of Kim Thúy that is based on her award-winning book.
It is the story of a Vietnamese family who moves to Quebec after the Vietnam War and tries to adjust to life in a new country while still dealing with a traumatic past. For more, we are joined by Kim and Karine Vanasse, who stars in the film. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having us. I'm sure that those who have read Kim's book, just hearing those lines from the film, you know, when you appreciate the nuances of the sky's blues, yeah, you appreciate life. It's
Kim, how is it hearing those lines on screen for you? You wrote this.
It's beyond my imagination. I never thought that it could become a movie. First of all, I never thought that we have enough Vietnamese to you know, yes. and so when our friend, actually, who's the producer, he said that, yeah, he was buying the rights to make the movies. I said, oh, you sure? And so it took us, what, almost 20 years? 15 years to make the movie.
Between the release of the book and then the film, and yeah.
Karine, tell us a bit more about your relationship with Kim, because we all know you, of course, from such great roles in Revenge, Cardinal, the Traitors Canada.
The Traitors Canada.
Yes. But prior to that, you actually worked in Kim's restaurant.
Actually,
no.
I imposed myself.
No, she's a customer. She was a customer at the restaurant, and she was this famous actress, you know, coming to the restaurant.
It was my go-to. But almost like my safe place to go to. I was living nearby in a small apartment, and we just became friends very quickly. And yes, I ended up serving some food sometimes when a server was not showing up.
Yeah.
But
it didn't work out because the customer would go like, "Is this a stunt? You know, like why is she asking me for coffee or tea?"
But we became friends very quickly. And Kim was not writing books at that time. You know, she's been a lawyer, a restaurateur. You've done so many things.
You actually encouraged Kim to write this story.
Exactly.
Sometimes you say things. She was sending us.
She even wrote it in the notebook that I should write.
The journal you gave, right?
Yeah, I gave her a small book. Basically, she was sending me and so many other people like letters all the time. And she loves words. And she was carrying so much within her. So from my 20-year-old self, it was just evident that she had something to.
Yeah,
there was something in her that needed to come out creatively.
And this is what friendship is about, right? You see the other person more than you can see yourself. And
so it's amazing to see that not only the book exists, that it became the success that it was, that so many books have been written since then, but that is now a film. It's doing so well in Quebec, and obviously I'm not the lead actor in the film. The Vietnamese actors are amazing.
But she was important. She is important in the movie.
Because it's the story also of how you were welcomed.
Yes, but it's also important for me to have Karine because she was there from the beginning of the story, and today the honor and the privilege for us to have Karine in the movie, but mostly for our friendship to say, oh, you remember where we all started in a car, you know, talking until 2 o'clock in the morning.
And you carrying that story that, you know, even within Vietnamese families, sometimes it's not really being discussed. What happened, you know, sometimes it's easier to push the past aside and just move forward, but...
Well, I was just going to say, it is such an important story for so many people to hear, because it is the lived Canadian story for so many.
Exactly.
So, have you heard from people who are thanking you, saying thank you for telling our story? Because so many people can relate.
A lot, and I was surprised that not only the Vietnamese, but you know, many new Canadians. Yeah, they would come up to me and say, "We live the same thing," you know, and they would come from Colombia, from Afghanistan, you know, so many different countries. And the last one was a young boy from Ukraine. He had been in Quebec for a year or so, so he spoke perfect French. I was listening to him and he said, "Oh, your movie, you know, it reminded me of Kiev, you know, when the sirens went off." And I said, "Oh, God," so it's really a universal almost story because it's so difficult for anybody to come to a new country,
Yep.
especially when it was not planned. You just arrive. But the movie is also about how Canadians, the Quebecers who welcome us, without even expecting a mere thank you, because I couldn't speak French or anything, but they took us in right away, physically, in their arms, and then accompanied us during those first few months and year to find our place in Quebec.
And it was moving as to portray how you can, sometimes when you think of, okay, if I want to welcome them, it has to be total. I have to welcome them into my house. No, you just have to be present. And sometimes it's just, taking them to the groceries.
Yes.
And you'll make mistakes. Like sometimes everything is not perfect. But when you're there from a good place, sometimes you
the right intention.
The right intention, and knowing that you can love the other, even if you don't know what they've been through, if you don't know them, but it's just that exchange of, I'm here, I'm there.
Sure.
Welcome.
And one of the first activities, they took us to, camping, to do camping. And we came from a refugee camp. We didn't need camping. But but what we learned, though, was that we arrived in paradise, in a country where we're so comfortable that we need discomfort, going to...
All right, well, the film is Rue. Kim and Karine, thank you both so much.
Thank you for having us.